You didn't become smart the normal way. No one taught you with books or easy lessons. Life taught you through confusion, silence, and emotional chaos. You learned how to read people before you learned how to trust them. You learned how to stay quiet before you learned how to speak. And now, you understand things most people don't even notice. But here's the strange part. This kind of intelligence doesn't always feel like a gift. Sometimes it feels like a burden you can't turn off. And if that feels familiar, you might have something very rare, something called traumatic intelligence. Let me explain. Imagine this. You're sitting with people. Everyone is laughing, talking, acting normal. But your mind? It's somewhere else. You're noticing the small things, the forced smiles, the slight change in tone, the tension behind someone's words. You don't just hear what people say. You feel what they mean. And it's exhausting. Because while others live in the moment, you're constantly analyzing it. This didn't come from nowhere. Traumatic intelligence is something people develop when they grow up in emotionally unpredictable environments. When love felt inconsistent. When safety wasn't guaranteed. When you had to read the room just to protect yourself. Your brain adapted. It became faster, sharper, more aware. Not because it wanted to, but because it had to. And now, those same skills show up in your everyday life. Here are the signs. The first sign, you overanalyze everything. Not because you want to, but because your mind doesn't know how to stop. A simple text message becomes a puzzle. A small change in someone's behavior feels like a warning. You're always asking, what did they really mean? And even when things are fine, your brain looks for hidden problems. Pause for a second. Think about the last time something small stayed in your mind all day. That's not overthinking for no reason. That's your brain trying to protect you from something that might not even be there. The second sign, you can read people instantly. You walk into a room and within seconds, you already know the vibe. Who's uncomfortable? Who's pretending? Who's hiding something? It's like your brain picks up signals others miss. But here's the truth most people don't realize. You didn't learn this as a skill. You learned it as survival. Because at some point, understanding people quickly meant staying emotionally safe. The third sign, you struggle to relax around others, even with close friends, even with people you trust. There's always a part of you that stays alert, watching, listening, preparing. You're not fully off. And that's because your mind learned one important rule. Stay ready, just in case something goes wrong. The fourth sign. You feel emotions deeply, but you don't always show them. On the outside, you seem calm, controlled, put together. But inside, everything hits harder. You notice more, you feel more, you carry more. And sometimes, you don't even know how to explain it. The fifth sign. You're independent to a fault. You don't like relying on people. Not because you're strong all the time, but because somewhere in your past, you learned that depending on others can hurt. So you handle things alone, even when you don't have to, even when it's heavy. The sixth sign, you replay conversations in your head, over and over, thinking about what you said, what they meant, what you could have done differently. It's like your brain is trying to rewrite the past, but really, it's trying to avoid future pain. The seventh sign. You notice patterns in behavior. You can tell when someone is slowly pulling away, when someone's energy shifts, when something feels off before it actually happens. People might call it intuition, but it's deeper than that. It's pattern recognition built from experience. The eighth sign. You struggle with trust. Not because you want to doubt people, but because your mind has seen too much. It remembers, and it tries to protect you from going through the same thing again. So even when someone is genuine, there's still that small voice saying, "Be careful." Pause again. Ask yourself honestly, how many times have you held back, not because you didn't care, but because you were afraid of being hurt? The ninth sign. You're emotionally strong, but mentally tired. You've handled things that should have broken you. You kept going. You figured things out. You survived. But no one sees the mental weight behind that strength. The constant thinking, the constant awareness, the constant pressure. And the 10th sign, you understand people deeply, but feel misunderstood yourself. You listen, you notice, you empathize. But when it's your turn, it's hard to explain what's going on inside your mind, because most people don't experience the world the way you do. Now here's the part no one tells you. Traumatic intelligence is powerful. It gives you emotional awareness, depth, insight, but it also comes with a cost, because the same mind that protects you can also trap you in overthinking, in fear, in emotional exhaustion. But here's the realization. You don't have to stay in survival mode forever. You don't have to keep treating every situation like it's a threat. Not everything is danger. Not everyone is going to hurt you. And slowly, you can teach your mind that, not by forcing it, but by understanding it, by recognizing that your intelligence came from pain, but it doesn't have to stay controlled by it. You're not broken. You're just someone who adapted too well to difficult situations. And now, it's time to use that intelligence differently. Not just to protect yourself, but to finally give yourself peace.